Hello, my Gen Z. Professor Kimadi of Political Science, Governmental Studies and Ethics. Our government is for year 2032. For 2027, we are leaving it to those who are already organized. And that is King Ruto. I like saying he is a de facto King Ruto. And it is very wrong for the Gen Z to be taught that you fight the king. He is your king. He is my king. He's the king of Kenya. Now, I said last time in another video that I'll bring evidence of how I had taken the evidence, the weapon that Gachagua had tried to employ to kill off Ruto. Why am I saying this? I want to insist that politics is called dirty for one reason, and that it being dirty, that's why I call it democracy. Democracy. I don't say democracy, I say democracy. Why? Because I have another method of government which I have ideated. It was there, but it was forgotten, or it was not being called by that name of Jethroico Maaruf administration. So before I come now to that, to organize, I have first of all to do politics using actually the dirty way, and that is doing politics democratically. And therefore, you have to understand one thing, that you, in anything you are doing, you must be taught to do it by those who had done it before. So I teach political science. Governmental studies, meaning I'll set up a government in 2032 which is unique. And that's why I want Kenyans to be together so that we go to the world as one. But before, we have to fight amongst ourselves. You know that Gachagua was the deputy president of this country, and I have numbered my videos with a reason, that because this is not entertainment, this is schooling. You are being taught political science. And therefore, I want to be sharp. The sharp one is the one we shall say, this one is grandfather's man, hand-picked man, so that I'll be ruling by proxy. I'll be the president of Kenya by proxy, having another young Gen Z ruling using the style of teaching of my government. Now we are to say, before we get the government, we must do politics. And the politics I want us to do today, I want to introduce you to three things, which I have written here on the board. Psalms 104 and Surat 108, verse 1 to 3. A very short verse in the Quran, which is called Al-Kawathir. Al-Kawathir, that we call it Arab-given Quran. Remember, I told you there are three nations of God. The first one, which was destroyed, and some masquerading people went to Israel, red. Well, the Israel was black, and made themselves, said they were Israeli people. And they still face Jerusalem. That's their Kibra. Then they are the Arabs. Their Kibra is Makkah. And the Kikuyu have their Kibra. That is Mount Kenya. We are Muslims of Mount Kenya. Now, there is number three I'm going to introduce to you. This Kikuyu word gongi, because that is the instrument which Gachagua wanted to employ and kill Ruto, literally so. This is a research I did, because to be a patriotic person, the way I teach patriotism, love for your country and love for your king. Listen, a king, whether lame or blind, is your king. upende, usipende, like it or not. So you see, I'm teaching something very different from these other politicians who are saying, oh, President Ruto is like that. I don't even call the president because I use the Bible and the Quran. And there is nothing like president. In the Bible, there is a damn king. The leader of a nation is called a king. So I call my beloved president the King of Kenya, whether you like it or not like it. I want you to understand that. And so that when the Gen Z who are on my side agrees with me, of course, if you look at my video number 3 of 24, it's written, Limuru, tembea mbele ya Mungu bila dosari. I wrote it, I talked it in Swahili. That was the third video of my appearing to teach openly, not the way I used to teach before. I talked about being in Kiswahili bila dosari, to walk in the face of God blamelessly. Why? Because if you look at Genesis chapter 17, from verse 9, God called Abraham and told him, be a holy man, just like me, your God, is holy. So that we walk together. For not two people can walk together without first agreeing. Having a covenant, in other words. So I want us to have a covenant between me, a holy God, so that you be holy, so that we walk with you. And this, according to Genesis chapter 17, when you read, and that's why the Muslims are told also to be reading the Bible, when you walk with me blamelessly, then I will prove, I'll give you evidence that I am alive. Yeah, high, with life, God living. And he is the Almighty, and he is the creator of the earth, of the heaven and the earth. So that is the hallelujah of our forefather Abraham. And he told him, look, so that you remember this, you remove your godly. You see those other they say goyi. You know, when you are not very conversant with the language, instead of saying godly, which means skin, say goyi, because it's a small child. That's why you see the Israeli, in their language, they say goyim, meaning nations. It means people who do not circumcise. So here, Abraham circumcised at 99 years. With his son, Ishmael, he was the only one. That time, Isaac had not been born yet. And they were circumcised. And their slaves and their workers, those employed, the servants, all of them were circumcised one day. That is the beginning of circumcision. So that you find in Kenya, the majority circumcised, meaning they are from Abraham, depending on what section they were. Some of them were slaves in the section, so that the others were servants. So you find the Kalenjins are circumcised. But when you ask them, do you know Abraham is your former? They don't know. They don't know that. But we know. The Somali, because this government, as we have it, is run by two nations. The Kalenjin nation and our beloved King Ruto. Whether you like it or not, you can go to hell. He is the bona fide king. And as a person who is patriotic for his country, you have to recognize that a king is there for peace. He is the most important person for peace. He can sell your country. You can do nothing about it. He can bring peace in your country. The second one, You say, where's the second one? You say, oh, it is Kidiki Kithure, professor, my fellow professor. I can tell you that's just a thing. It is my son, Duale. Yes, Duale. He is the one who is in charge of the Somali community. So that this country is run by two nations. The Kalenjin nation and the Somali nation. And let me tell you, we go by what we teach in political science. There are principles. Just like there is Newton's law of principle, the Archimedes principle, Bernoulli's principle in physics. In politics, we have also principles. And one of them, I have said many, and one of them is that power does not issue from the ballot as you have been told the lie. Power issues from the barrel of the gun. And that is why when the Gen Z upped the ante, we say upping the ante on Ruto, he resorted to the army and they came to the streets so that the Gen Z had to retreat. Power issues from the barrel of the gun. So who are the majority in the army? As you would expect, the majority are the Kalenjins in the army, even in the police, even in the intelligence. That is where power lies. You Kikuyu, you do not know. Saying that you are removing Ruto, you are saying we shall cut this Mogumo tree with a laser blade. That is how stupid the Kikuyu has been. Now, listen to this one. Go and do the statistics like we have done, secretly, gone to every part of the military in Kenya. Who are the majority? The Kalenjin. Who are the second majority? The Kamba people. And the third is not Kikuyu, it's the Somali. As few as they are in the census, they are the third in the military. And now, this is what we are going to do to you, Kikuyu, in our killing, finishing you so that you go back to your God and pray to him to give you the government. We are now registering the Somali without asking these stupid questions we used to ask them. The Somali community is a very large community. The community which is in Kenya is only a tail of the larger force of a nation called the Somali. The Djibouti are Somali, a tiny country but very strategically placed. It's a Somali country. The whole of Ogaden province of Ethiopia is of Somali. The whole of Somalia is a great nation. The people have the minds, and that's why you see they are the ones feeling Isili. Isili used to be for the Kikuyu, and they were replaced by the Somali. And now this time you'll see we bringing camels and eating your livestock, and you can do nothing. You shut up because you lost the government. I want you to be bitter so that when I tell you recognize me as your leader, then you'll give me the votes in 2032. Failing to that, first of all, you have the ante has to be turned again on you.